let's roll. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. She give me a. Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome to another one, man. It's your boy Rob One, and this is Sparking Conversation. And y'all know what I do each and every week. I get up here and I talk to some of the world's most interesting people, but not tonight because I did have some guests lined up, but tonight I wanted to just make a special show tonight, right? Because a lot of things been happening, and in some instances, the things that's been happening when you have a platform, you know, it makes you want to go ahead and get on it right then and there, because when things are hot and it's fresh off the press, you want to be one of the people that is in the mix with it. But sometimes it's not always good whenever you do have a platform, because you could be first and you can also be wrong at the same time, or you could be misinformed and have like only partial information, and then get passionate and go on a tangent about something, and then have to come back only a few days later and be like, damn, yo, that wasn't even what it was. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, and I'm gonna give a few examples of that tonight. But before we do all of that, I need to make sure that I do what I do each and every week. Give it up to all the people that download the audio version of this platform. I definitely appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much, because that's what when I always get on here, I like to make sure that I mention that to all my people out here who have podcasts or platforms. I know everybody wants that look. They want the studio look. They want the look already of people who already have like a budget or whatever, and they put their stuff together and they got these nice studios and the big mics and all that other shit. And so a lot of people try to start off like that, and then when they can't get schedules together, or people don't get together every time because of what they got going on, somebody had a long day, so now they, you know, all these other things. And it also limits to how you can have guests, because if your platform is made for people to come there, and if your platform is not helping to supply the transportation for the person to get there, or because of the story that you know is going to help your channel grow and get views, then how can you expect people to always want to, you know what I mean? Unless you have the value already of having millions of views and subscribers, where people would make sure that they could get to you if that's the case. But even if that's the case, you got to be in a position where your platform already works, because when they come to you and they sit down with you, it's really just a visual that you're getting. Because at the same time, y'all remember, this podcast game is about the audio, y'all. It's not about the visual. The visual is the extra component. The visual is the extra bag. But for real, it's the audio that makes your podcast important, because people want to hear that. That's what makes it important. Whenever you go out there and you get on these streaming platforms for podcasts and all that other stuff, and your joint really grows, why do you think these podcasters get paid so much? It's because advertisement. Right? Why do you think the average podcast is over an hour plus? Because it gives more room for advertisers to plug advertisement in there. Right? Because how else do they do that? It's no different than the radio. And that's what I think a lot of people, they misconstrue, right? They think that the podcast game is not like the radio. It's just like the radio. Remember, so many famous radio personalities come from like talk radio, or, you know, those type of radio shows. Or remember, like the really dope, I can't call them disc jockeys and all that. We call them DJs or BJs, all the people who are on the air. Remember, whenever they're dope, they play music in between, but what makes them the household name or makes them who they are is what they say in between the music. You know, like that the biggest radio show, they're not sitting up there playing music the whole time that they on. Like if you listen to a Tom Joyner, or you listen to the Breakfast Club, like these are some of the biggest radio platforms in the world, on some of the biggest stations, right? In the biggest markets, right? And they talking. You just get music in between the talking. Right. So that's what I'm saying. So talk radio is important. So for anybody to think that podcasting is really about the video or the visual, you already lost the idea of why you're doing it. And that's why so many podcasts give up and they fail, because they too busy. They jump out the window too early, wanting the look of the podcast instead of making sure that they create the substance of what the podcast really is, and that's your audio. You're gonna really get to the bag based on your audio, because your visual, you can monetize that yourself. You don't need nobody to come give you a YouTube deal. You don't need nobody to come give you a Twitch deal or a Facebook deal. You just gotta be on there, and then people blow. You get the things. You start to, monetize. That's a different thing. But whenever you got a platform and it's a podcast, it's about whatever your conversation is. It's about that. Whatever that is, it's about that. Not how you look, not what your studio look like. It's none of that. It's all about, people want to hear what your guests got to say if you have guests, or if you have a crew of y'all and y'all just run y'all joint where it's between y'all. People want to hear your perspective and y'all take on whatever your niche is that your platform is. It's not about where you sitting at, the couch you sitting on, all this other stuff that people make out. And that's why so many people got really great platforms or great ideas for platforms, but it's gone in 3 months or 6 months because they jump out the window wanting to look like all these other things. That's the saddest thing about social media, right? For a lot of people, is that because they see other people already in a certain space, they feel like they supposed to be there, but they don't even know what those people went through to be wherever they are. They just think that that's just the way it is. They don't know what they doing in the background to get their money. Some people could be dealing with things illegal. Why you think some big platforms, they come and they be hot and they roll, and the next thing you know, you don't hear about them no more, because you don't know what they was doing behind the scenes to get their money to be able to jump out there and have that look already. So you can't be envious of other people's hustle or whatever they got going on. You just got to make sure that you got the quality. So all the people that download the audio version, thank y'all, man, because like I said, that's what's going to help this podcast grow. That's what's going to get us to where we need to be. That's what's going to get us into the corporate spaces and into those trucks, right? Because what they're saying is, coming up in probably about a good 15 years or so, they're going to have autonomous driving vehicles. They already got some that in certain cities where they'll take you around town like a Uber type thing, but nobody's driving it. The car is robotic, it's driving itself. But they're perfecting the technology. They're really getting to work, and eventually it's going to be in the distribution lane because they don't need to sleep. They could drive all night. All they got to do is stop to charge, because their vehicle is going to be electric. So even the 18 wheelers and stuff like that, that is doing most of the transportation, they will be electric as well too. So they got a whole bunch of plants going up in different states that's making these batteries. And then that's why I said the other day, so much is out there, like information. It's just that nobody is like directly patting people on the shoulder and saying, "Hey, man, you might want to pay attention to this." So I'm gonna give this disclaimer real quick. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just giving you education based information. All right, I'm just gonna put that out there. But right now, even though Trump came through and he got rid of the electric mandate and all the other stuff that the last administration had, which was trying to push everything into being electric and stuff like that, but that's no longer a thing. So yeah, people will still be able to get gas cars and all that other stuff for a while, right? But right now, in between, there's still, AI has allowed certain industries to really look at different things now. So now, instead of them actually having to put electric batteries in all domestic vehicles, these people are coming up with bigger and bigger engines, bigger batteries, and bigger things, so they can have those trucks that people are driving now to go supply grocery stores or you know retail stores or whatever. They're gonna make those autonomous, yo, where nobody has to drive it. So if you guys kind of think about that, you would kind of really think that this is the best time for y'all to find out the stocks of those people, or these companies rather, that are developing this technology, or the companies that are doing the electric batteries, right? Or coming up with the electric vehicles themselves, almost like that are public. Because if you guys get into that stuff now, then whenever this stuff really does take over, remember, it has to build up first. So in that stage of it building up, it's growing. So that's where you want to be. You want to be in a place where it's growing. So by the time it get to that whatever that date is, where okay, they got the fully autonomous 18 wheelers out here now. Now it's not a whole bunch of truck drivers out there no more. Now these brothers are back home because they can't drive. They don't need to, because these companies are figuring out a way to circumvent having to worry about the delivery. Because think about this: if a person doesn't have to sleep, then what think about it. If they don't have to sleep, then they could keep going. All they got to do is just charge the vehicle. They stop it long enough to charge the vehicle. It'll be fully autonomous. So that means that everything in there will be AI ran. So it'll be able to find whatever the nearest to the furthest charging station for itself and all that other stuff. And it'll be, and then that's the thing. And then now they're coming up with a different type of battery. So I want y'all to know about this too. They're doing the hydrogen-based battery, where the battery has water in it. Like the vehicle's battery has water in it, and it keeps recharging itself. Like it never runs out. Even the water don't evaporate. So they could fill it up with the water it needs, and it'll run for however long it needs to. So eventually certain vehicles won't necessarily need a charging station, right? It'll be more for domestic vehicles that will need charging stations. But for the people with the companies with the money, they're going to be getting these other highly more advanced batteries and ways of their transportation to be able to roll. You know what I mean? Even down to the solar. Think about the 18 wheeler. On the top of the 18 wheeler, it got solar panels. So it'll be able to go a whole lot further before it needs to charge. You know what I mean? Like literally got to stop somewhere and charge. So you guys, this is the time for you to all pay attention to these industries and these corporations, and then boom, find out where to put 5, 10, 15, $20 a week, or every 2 weeks when you get paid. Just start investing in these places. I mean, like, I'm not giving y'all advice. I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm telling y'all to do the research, right? Of these things, and then just find a place to put some things, and then just leave it alone. Don't worry about it day to day. It's just like crypto. Once you find out the value of different cryptocurrencies and what a deck is and what a DApp is and what a swap is and what all of these different terms, once you realize what these things are, all you got to do is put your money in. You don't got to worry about the headlines, right? Oh, it went up today, it went down today, it went this, it went that. You don't have to worry about that, because the rich people are not selling their crypto anyway. Whenever it does go up and it makes whatever it's going to make, they're not selling it. What they're doing is they borrowing against it. Think about that. While the coins or whatever they got is just still growing. Once you sell it, you lose however much of it that you sell. And yeah, you could get some money, but then what you going to do to take with that money that you take out? You got to find somewhere else to put it in order for you to make more, so it can make more for you. The goal is to be able to have enough investments that could sustain your lifestyle, right? So if you think about it, the rich people, they're not, when they get, that's why if you think about it, there's not a lot of selling of certain assets anymore, or cryptocurrencies or things like that. It's not a lot of selling. Once people got them, they hoard them. Only retail investors are the ones that panic and sell, because they the ones that go by the headlines every day. Oh, this went down. Instead of thinking like, damn, when it go down, I mean, it's on sale. That means you buy more, right? Because you only gotta pay attention to the top 10, the top 15 cryptocurrencies, period. Everything else that's new, you can take a chance on it if you want to. But if it hasn't proven itself, I don't know why you would invest your money in something that hasn't proven itself, right? But that's all you gotta do is pay attention to the top 15. And then once you get into that space, you'll know that if they make it anywhere between in the top 20, they're not going nowhere. So if the price goes down and it has this thing, look at Dogecoin. Remember, Dogecoin was up at 64 or 60 something cent like 4 or 5 years ago, and now it's battling in between 20 something and 25 cent and all that other shit. Remember, it's gonna get right back to the 60 cent. It was already there. So all it takes is cute use case and different things. But now people are learning what to put their money in. So now you guys will be in a position where AI is coming and you won't be scared and you won't be under control. But that is up to you, right? Free will. Free will that everybody has. And then, information is something that is very valuable, but it's also something that a lot of people don't really take into consideration when they add up their life. Some people only live for right now because for them, they're affected by the two things that they don't have, which is the past and the future. Like so many people are affected by what happened to them before, and then they're so worried about where they get ready to go tomorrow. When every day is the only thing that we get. Once you go to sleep and wake up every day, that's all you get. What happened yesterday, that shit is over with. Right? Whatever you talking about tomorrow, it's not here yet. All you get is the day that you're in. So when you're in that day, it's what you do. That's why I look at so many different things in life, and I'm starting to really pay attention to things and words that people say, and actions of people, and making sure that it aligns with you know my goals in life. Because I really had to take an assessment and look back and say, out of all the things that's going on in the world, when I'm noticing that there's a group of people out here who are really living their life. And I don't know about y'all, but I want to be amongst the group of people that's living their life, not living in fear, right? Not living in a routine, not living in a structure that only helps to make somebody else more free, without focusing on myself in that perspective. And I know because sometimes, you know, I'm also learning about how to keep your goals to yourself and your dreams to yourself, right? You only need to speak what's necessary because it's a lot of dream killers out here, right? So we got to learn that part too, because what we do is that we want to share things because we want people to be excited about things as much as we do. We want to make people know, because that's one of the things that they say kills a lot of different types of relationships is communication, right? And that's any type of relationship, not just one with your person. I'm talking about your brothers and sisters, family, whatever, co-workers, whatever. Communication. You know how many misunderstandings take place that cause people not to even be around each other or speak no more, when all they had to do was have a conversation about it, and then they will get a better understanding. But the one thing I notice about that is that people only use that as a cop out to try to win an argument. But if they really would think about it, a part of their life, that communication is really key to everything, then people would pay attention more to what's being said to them. I think so. Versus only listening to respond. Because if you think about it, so many answers to whatever you're thinking in your head has already been given to you if you kind of listen to what people are saying. The point is, though, a lot of us want to overlook it, and we want to think that people are just saying stuff just to say it, and we're not really paying attention to what they're saying, and trying to, because we're not learning people anymore. Right now, what we're doing is we're studying people based off of social media. We're going off of posts. We're thinking that what people post is who they are, right? And I'm learning that, yo, like that, because of the power of social media. It's a lot of people that won't admit that for sure, but the power of social media has so many people really thinking that what people post is what they really are and how they really are and what they really doing. I still see celebrities doing dumbass TikTok dances. Now think about that. Like you would think that people would find ways to stay original and keep their people that support them in a means of, wanting to keep them ignited so they can continue to follow them. But you find out that people don't. They just become a follower themselves. It doesn't matter if they're famous or not. They still be followers. And so it's hard out here that when you a real one, right? It's hard out here when you're a real one because look, everything is so fake and everything is so phony, and everybody is attracted to fake and phony. People really looking at people's lives like they really popping like that. And it don't be. That's why I only show people what I want them to know. And it's not saying that I'm doing it better or worse than anybody else. What I'm saying is that because I know that people get off, and then you guys may not understand this, but there's a such thing as spirit vampires, like where people can take information from you and they draw energy from that because understanding how other people are going through something. I was having this conversation the other day about why, certain movies be depicting things that people really do in their life. And I remember the movie Hostel. And in that movie, it was a bunch of rich people would pay people like online, like they would watch online on the dark web. They would pay to watch people get murdered in the way that they choose to see people get murdered. Like they get off of brutality, like watching things happen to people in the most brutal way. And I was just like, damn. And when I think about the whole concept of it, right? Like I think about the whole concept of what people are really do out here. Like what it's really out here. Like what's really, really out here for people. And I just hope that for the most part that whenever people look at these things, they don't think that people are really out here preying on your downfall. Like these people get off on negativity and you give them negativity, even if it's something going on through your life. It's like a lot of people will be in the hospital and they posting pictures of them in the hospital bed, hooked up to stuff. Like, why is that what you want people to see? Like, is you trying to get attention or sympathy or want people to know that you somewhere where you can get, why is that something that you're doing in that moment? Right. But people do it every day. And then when you say, yo, like it's they really want that much attention, and then for them, no, it ain't that. Everybody always have a reason against what they really want to do deep inside. They know that's what they really doing, right? Because people get off on that too. People get off on likes and comments, right? They do. Because let's talk about this for a minute, because I did get a bunch of people hit me up asking me, was I going to talk about Charlie Kirk? Because so many people have, and then I've seen so many things online. But I'm not gonna lie, when it first happened, I did want to jump on because it happened like I think last week of maybe like a Wednesday or a Thursday, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember the exact day. But whenever it happened, and I did want to just jump on and do like a pre-record, drop some videos and talk about it because I was approaching it from a perspective of, you know, nobody should have to die off of their opinion. Like, yeah, fam said some foul shit or some things that could be taken as foul from certain people, right? And then he said some things that was pretty prolific, right? So he had whatever he had, but it still was just his opinion. Now, as much as we be affected by the things that people say, like I don't understand why we give them the power to listen to what they say, because we can all choose not to listen to a person based on what they say. We don't have to listen to them. It's nowhere written that because a person says something that you don't like, every time they pop up you got to listen to what you don't like. Once you recognize that a person ain't for you, then you could just not rock with them. It's not that hard in order for you to wish that somebody it should die because they have an opinion that you don't like. How many of us go back and forth with different people about opinions and things like that? Like, should we all be murdered and killed because somebody don't like what we say? Some people don't like what we say and it be the truth. Like we literally are telling people the truth and they don't like it. How often do we hear that the truth hurts? You can tell a person the truth all day and they don't like it. So it's what difference do it make if a person is spewing their opinion? You don't like their opinion, you don't like their point of view, you don't like their perspective, then just don't listen to them. But the wish that they dead, like I seen so many different comments and videos of people who really got up here and was talking about, yo, you get that's what he get when you say mean things happen to you, as if that ain't mean right there. Like literally, you're saying something mean right then and there about a person who is not here no more, who children got to grow up without a father, whose wife now doesn't have a husband, whose parents now don't have a son, and brothers don't have a brother, and uncle don't, all of these different things that this person represents is not here no more. And the very thing that you saying that you are, nobody should be, giving him condolences and all that other stuff, you're turning around and doing the same thing, being mean. So should you die because now you come on here to say something mean about some person who lost their life over an opinion because they had an opinion and they happen to have a platform? Then that mean that I need to get off here. I need to get out of here because that's all I do is give my opinion. I don't give matter of fact of life. Now I got research and I got, references that I could point people to say where I got information from and things like that. Now I ain't just up here just talking out the side of my neck. I do have that. But what I'm saying to you is that I'm not here to change people's thoughts and perspectives. I'm just here to give one. And if it affects someone and it helps them, or if people don't agree, trust me, over on TikTok, everybody don't agree with everything I say. They don't even really pay attention to the the way that I'm saying things and the perspective that I'm in. It's just the words. They get triggered and they gone. Boom. And they be in my comments going crazy. Right? So that is something that people are just going to do. Like people are just going to be negative. They're going to find a reason to not like you or like something you say. That's fine, but for the most part, all of y'all that got up here purposely and then got the nerve to condemn other people and be like, yo, all of y'all sellouts, y'all this, that, and the third, yo, he was a racist, he was this, that. And I'm like, yo, you so affected by a person that you really didn't have to listen to. Once you heard it, why was that still a person that was even on your radar? Like Charlie Kirk, once you realize whatever he was about to you, whatever that day was, should have been the last time you listened to him. There's no way you're going to continue to consume his content and what he say, continue to get triggered, continue to get emotionally fed in a negative way. And then now when something happens to him, you've been following him for the last 4 years. You've been following him, eating up all the negativity, just adding it up. Because if y'all look at it, y'all, like even though he said a lot of foul stuff about black people, it wasn't a black person that killed him. And that's why I want to make sure that all white America need to know, like they be fronting when they put it out here trying to bait us into race wars. Trust me, if the African American community, whatever you want to call us, even though that's not where we from, I mean, whatever you want to call us, black people, African, Negro, whatever you want to call us, listen, as much as we walk around here with this hate inside of us that you feel like we have for y'all, we do harm quicker on ourselves than we do to y'all. Think about that. Because at the end of the day, nobody black did this to him. Although the people that are coming on here are black or whatever you want to call it, that are happy or trying to tell other people that you should be happy that this man got killed and saying that his words was the reason why he got killed and he should have got killed and all this other stuff like that. Are y'all bugging? Like, I don't get that. Like, that's not what we suppose, because none of y'all had, even though y'all all said that, none of y'all ain't even do nothing as much as punch him in the face. Let alone talking about y'all happy that he killed him. None of y'all stepped to him. None of y'all did nothing to him ever before. And then now y'all all up here just being just really just negative and mean about a person who lost their life over their opinion, because ultimately that's all it was, is his opinion. That's it. And some people liked it and some people don't. But the fact that he's not here no more, y'all happy? Like, yo, that's corny, and I don't care. And it's even people I know. It's people I know personally who was making these comments too and saying shit like, yo, y'all up here, talking about rest in peace to him. Y'all must ain't know what he was. He was a piece of shit. He was a dirtbag. I'm like, yo, because he had an opinion that you didn't like. So everybody that you don't like or you don't have an opinion, they that to you, I get it. But you wish them dead, or you ain't never did nothing to nobody that made them feel away. Should you be dead too? You ain't never said nothing or had an opinion about something that made people feel away. Like, yo, you ain't never did that. Should you be dead too? Like, come on, man. That's corny. Like, yo, listen, I'm not looking at that as karma. I don't care. Like, I know people like to be in this karma bag, but everybody that like to be in this karma bag, you the last person that need to be in a karma bag, because you are a person that has done something wrong. Then what is going to come back to you if you think that every time something negative happens to a person is based on a karma? I don't believe in that. I never do, because look, what about the positive that happens? Does everybody like, because it's a lot of bad things that happen to good people. Is that karma too? Being good? Do you get karma for being good? Because you don't equate it to nothing that's negative. And that's foul. That's foul that people are happy that this man is not here no more. Instead of creating your own platform, opposite of what he's saying, then leave room for debate, leave room for conversation, because that's all it's about. We shouldn't be mad because nobody don't think like us. Like, what difference do that make? Like, we don't want listen, we want people that can have conversations about things that are different. That's the only way you're gonna learn. Because everybody gonna bring something different to the table, because everybody got a different level of expertise of how they go about finding out information. So having people who have multiple thought processes or perspectives on things is healthy to growth, because it's not shit. Everybody don't have to think the same way. Everybody could come to the same conclusion, because think about it, there's certain math problems out here that you can make that could create and get the same number. Right. So if we know that, then that means that certain things had to work together in order to get that number. Right. So then that should be the same thing for us as a group of people working together. We could get that number, but you got to be willing to want to work together. And be okay with the fact that somebody's not going to agree with you every time you have an opinion. But you shouldn't have to watch your back. You shouldn't have to die. And then the way it was set up, they arrested like 4 or 5 different people that wasn't the person, right? That did it. So we it was other things that was crazy too. It was hand signals, gestures. It was people. It's a lot of people out here who broke this thing down. That's why I'm glad I waited until now to even want to say anything about it, because they broke this thing down so much that it looked like it's inside. It looked like somebody is forcefully trying to start, get a race war going, because all it did was make people go to social media, black and white people, get up here and start being negative. Black people up here talking about they glad he got killed, da 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 da, and then the white people over here that supported him are even more angry and lashing out at the people who are up there talking about they happy he got killed. When in actuality, nobody should be happy that a person used their freedom of speech and they died. Like, we're supposed to have freedom of speech, y'all. Even the people that are upset with him, you got the right to get your own platform and start talking how you want to talk. You shouldn't have to die because you talk in a certain way. That's the whole point about freedom of speech. Remember, the last administration was doing everything they can to take our freedom of speech from us. And now that you got the opportunity to do it and stay free and stay vocal about what you want, y'all want people to die for it? Y'all really happy that this man is not here no more because of his opinion? Yo, that's foul, yo. And I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. That I'm giving. Like, yo, I think that's foul. Like, I think it's foul to wish that somebody's dead from speed freedom of speech. When all you gotta do is just not rock with him. You don't gotta fuck with fam. Like, nobody has to rock with him that don't like him. Just go. Find somebody you rock with and go listen to them. That's the whole point about having choice. Go rock with them. You don't need to be sitting up here wishing that somebody was dead or glad they was dead or trying to break it down and analyze it as if it was karma and spirit, this and that. No, no, think about all the people that, if y'all that believe in the Bible, think about some of the people that were used in the Bible by God. These people were murderers and rapists and drunkards and all this other stuff. These people wasn't perfect people that was used by God in order to be. Some of the books of, look about Dave. I mean, what is it? What's my man name, yo? I don't know why I even jumped out here on this, but I think about so many people preach from the New Testament. Like, I know a lot of churches, they preach from the New Testament. And Paul, that's his name, Paul. And they preach from so many different things of Paul. Like, they go in and out of different messages and different passages, all up into the shit that he wrote, the letters to the churches and all that. When this man used to walk around killing people that even talked about God. So what I'm saying to y'all is that, listen, man, we this ain't the time for us to be finding means or finding ways to just be worse than the people that we're actually speaking against. Like, that's foul. Like, you could feel how you want to, you could believe what you want to, it's foul. Because while y'all spending energy talking about him, I don't see none of y'all talking about what's going on in Mississippi. And that's what's foul, because you could pay attention to everything else but your own business. And then if Charlie Kirk was so much of a racist and y'all hated him so much, he's the last person that y'all should have been paying attention to. Then you should have been paying attention to your own people, right? You should have been paying attention to what's going on in Mississippi, because in Mississippi, it's been a bunch of hangings going on, hangings of young black men. I don't know why y'all ain't been making that a big priority. Where's the hashtags for that? Where's all the people coming around for that? Because what y'all want that to be? Like, they're saying that these young people hung themselves. Like, there's nobody sitting out here hanging themselves. You know what I'm saying? And why in Mississippi, out of all places, with the history of Mississippi? And that's what hate does. Hate just keeps just reinventing itself. Right? You got a bunch of people who came over here on boats themselves. All these Europeans, all these Southern white people, all their lineage come from Europe. They came over here on boats too, and they came over here and took a whole bunch of shit, and they still feel entitled to what they stole. They still feel entitled to what they took. Rather, they still feel entitled in that enough to be having towns that still sundown towns, enough to be still racist, enough to still be hanging black people because they felt like they always could based on some shit that they did, and they still feel entitled to it. It should not, racism should be the last thing that exists in here, but it's happening everywhere in every scenario. It's still alive and well as much as it was back 100 and 400 years ago. And I only said 100 because you got to think about it. We're not too removed from Jim Crow. We only 100 and some change, some odd years, you know what I'm saying, removed from Jim Crow. That means some of the people that are living right now, like some of our uncles and aunts and all that other shit, they lived through that. But let's talk about these brothers, man, because, hopefully I pronounced this right, but Corey Zukadis, and then Trey Reed, Javion McGee, and Earl Smith in Mississippi. These are all young men or men that have been found hanging from trees in Mississippi. And I don't know, y'all. I guess for me, I don't know. I don't feel like what we are doing now is progressing in a way that we could be mentally. I think a lot of people are progressing in their careers, and I think a lot of people are progressing in like other areas in life, which I guess was places that we were behind before. But mentally, emotionally, as far as intelligence in that end, it's a lot of people who are just not growing in that space, and their energy is just being used to keep perpetuating the same old bullshit. Because we know that ain't no black people down there hanging no other black people from no trees. Like, they know that. Unless somebody is doing it on purpose to try to start a race war, starting in the South, right? Because it very well could be hired people. Like, we can't put nothing past nobody. We're telling y'all, like, yo, there are people out here that are paid. Remember, in the last administration, the three-letter agencies paid over $500 billion to informants. 500 million, sorry, $500 million to informants. So y'all got to kind of think about that. 500 million to informants. What they giving? What, $100, $200, $500, and shit like that? They was giving to informants. So can you imagine for it to accumulate to that much? Of it being 500 million, how many people that was really informants for these three-letter agencies and stuff like that? Your biggest heroes that y'all looking up to has been telling and snitching and all this other stuff for the longest, y'all. But not only that, what I'm saying to y'all is that they got people they could pay to make something look like something, and that's it. This happens all the time. It's people who are not here no more, and all of a sudden it was because the helicopter messed up or the plane or this, that, and the third. No, they always got ways to make things look like it was accidents or this was this and this was that. And look, it's like they trying their hardest, but y'all are smart out there because y'all not allowing it to take it to the streets and actually be violent over it. Right? Y'all are not, and which is great. And I hope we can continue to keep that energy so we can see, because we can see the plot. I know all of y'all can see the plot. Because who else would even look like they would hang black people but white people? What if it ain't not one single white person down there hanging these black people? Or if it is some, what if it's some people that's being paid by one of these agencies out here that's going out there to do that, just to make it look like something? But the actual citizens that's in that area are not. Or they could be. I don't know. Because, the Klan is still alive. The Klan's still outside. So, I mean, it very well could be them. But if it may not be them, that's the things that we got to take into consideration. But either way it go, it's that energy is being used to try to start people in a way where they can do a race war. Y'all see what they doing in D.C. They just looking for reasons to deploy the military. Listen, the U.S. military is not really in any wars right now. There's a bunch of people being trained for war. They asking for them to get action, and that's the action. They're gonna go into these cities first, and then they gonna run y'all up out of there. And I know all of y'all that's out there that really feel like y'all hard and y'all got all these guns and the switches and all that other shit. I heard what the YNs is saying out in Chicago. I see the videos. I see it and I get it. Y'all some brave young men out there, yo. And women, I guess, because yeah, there's some women out there popping shit too. But y'all are brave. But I don't know if y'all really understand what the US military, what they train for and how they train. I saw one guy put up a video and he was like, man, I'm telling y'all, these soldiers is flimsy, man. These soldiers ain't about shit. These soldiers can't do 20 push-ups, this, that, and the third. I don't know what y'all are thinking. It's a lot of them soldiers that can't do that, but they'll snipe you from 200 yards away. They don't have to be in the middle of the fight. They don't have to do that. They just be laid out 200 yards away with their spotter and just see you from there, and then boom, you sleep. Like, they don't come. They not waiting on. They not playing with y'all, man. I don't care how many guns y'all got. Like, the reason why Americans are able to have guns is so no one else from outside could come over here and try to take us over, because the people around got guns. Like, you gonna get everything. You're not just gonna get the U.S. military, you're going to get everybody else around the way if you come over here with that shit. But what we're saying is that, do you not think that the military is not trained, or they're not training for any type of situation when it comes down to that? Y'all think that because y'all run around and y'all do drive-bys and y'all run down on people and y'all kick in doors, like that's real military training? Like, y'all can adapt to military training? These people got night visions and drones. Like, what do y'all really feel like y'all gonna do? Y'all really feel like y'all gonna do something and go hide in the building? They got drones that could pick up like just signatures from inside of buildings, yo. Like y'all wildin'. Y'all not paying attention. Y'all better turn on YouTube and look at some of these videos of the new tech that's out. Y'all better pay attention. I watch shit like that all the time because yo, they got some stuff out here. And then think about what they not showing you. If they showing y'all some stuff that's fly like that, imagine what they got in the tuck that they not showing people. They could figure it out, man. I'm telling y'all, y'all ain't ready for that type of smoke, man. Y'all gotta relax. It's not gonna work out the way that y'all thinking. But I see it. I see everybody is in that space. But I'm telling y'all, man, we need to be in our own business. Like I said, I just named out all those brothers right there that have been found in a tree in Mississippi, scattered through different areas of Mississippi, hanging in a tree. And y'all are sitting up here, got the nerve to be mean about Charlie Kirk, when all it looks like is that they do it. Because look, Charlie Kirk situation is should be like everybody should be in a state of yo, that's messed up, not in a state of celebration. Because like think about that, y'all. Because of what you say, yo, that's bananas, man. And then, like I said, these young brothers that was found in these trees, man, hung like that. Like that has to be one of the. I think it. I know it ain't a stabbing or a shooting and all that other stuff that most people feel like is brutal when it comes to murder. But damn, yo, just sitting up there getting choked out, like your life just because yo, that's brutal, man. That's brutal. That's brutal. And then these brothers, you don't know, like they don't really tell us the whole thing. What if they were already dead and then they just been put in the tree to look like the hanging is what killed them? Dude, these are the type of things that we can't put past anybody. That's why I tell y'all, man, this ain't the time to put yourself in a position where you're happy that somebody is not here no more based on something that they should be allowed freedom to do. Like you should be free to live in the skin that you were born in. You shouldn't have to worry about because I'm born in the skin, I'm gonna wind up in a tree. The person that put you in a tree must don't realize that you ain't had no choice but to come through here the color that you are. Just like they did. You don't want to just be wound up in a tree because of that, right? And because you have an opinion, you don't want to be somewhere speaking that opinion and then somebody just shoot you because they don't like you or they don't like your opinion. And they don't got the heart to debate you or ask you a question, or they don't have the heart to start their own platform and give their own opinion. Even if they want to react to your opinion, they can have that's a platform for them. It's a lot of people who make a lot of money just reacting to other people's videos. You could do that. Like you could react the opposite of why you don't like him based on what he said, why he was alive. You don't want to wish him dead because that's content for you. Like, why would you do that? It's the same thing like Kevin Samuels. So many women were so happy when he died. Like so many women were so happy when he died. Like they were really cheering that he was dead. And I'm like, damn, really? Just because of his opinion? Because y'all and then you know what the dumbest shit was? His platform was where he'll allow y'all to tap in. Like y'all call in to his y'all already know that he was on fire. And y'all will call in every time thinking that you will be the one that could change what he think and what he's saying. And then when you find out you can't, next thing you know, it's kill him, F him, he ain't this, he ain't that, he gay, he this, that, and the third. And then when he pass on, oh, it's karma because how he talk to black women and all this other shit. Like what? How he talk to y'all? Y'all called in. Oh God. Like you didn't have to talk to him. You didn't even have to listen to him, y'all. You called him and he gave his opinion, and you are glad that he's dead when you the one that called him. He didn't call y'all. He never got on there and said, let me reach out to these people. No, he said, yo, my live is open. If you want to say something to me about what I just said, or you want to ask me a question, here it go. That was his platform. And then people are Down, hit the little live button to join live, and they would join live, and then boom, then damn, when he eats you, now you mad because you thought you was gonna come up here and be able to say certain things like it wasn't going, like he was just gonna go along with it, and then he didn't, and y'all was wishing him dead, and that's sad, and that makes me think about my own self in a lot of ways. I noticed that, like I was watching another thing where it was just about entitlement and how people will love you as long as they could get what they want from you, or long as you fit in the mold of what they feel is right for them, they'll love you all day. But soon as it's contrary to that, soon as it's uncomfortable for where things don't look just like that, where it's a transition that has to take place, they be the first ones to bounce on you. The first ones to leave, first ones to vacate, first ones to do all these other things, and you be like, "Damn, yo, if I'd have known that, I would have, you know what I'm saying?" Because the person who is in a situation where they're focused on changing their lives, they're always going to be on that mission to change their circumstances. You'll never be able to change a person like that. So to feel like you should be more important than the overall goal or the overall picture is crazy to me how many people walk around here like that. Like really feeling like they're above the plan. You're not above no, you don't get to be above the plan because everything we get by the grace of God. So how can we allow another person, another human being to take us off our square? Like, how can we allow that? It doesn't matter what the title of a person is. No. Like that's not it, especially for men. Like, yo, like when it comes down to being a man, it's not fair. No, it's not fair. But in any position that you get where you have a family, you are the leader. Like it's not fair. No, you gotta be the person that takes the blame and you don't get the credit. So no, but that's not fair. But you still gotta be it. So at the end of the day, you gotta lead the way. It gotta be your tone. And if you got people around you who don't want to follow your lead, eventually they will lead themselves away. It never fails. Like you just gotta stay in your position. You stay in your space, stay in your lane. Don't ever deviate from who you supposed to be. And then everybody that's supposed to be in your life will be there. And it's the same thing with jobs or any other thing like that. You just got to do your job. Like if you go to work and do your job, then what? Next thing you know, the only way they could get rid of you is they get rid of the job. But they could get rid of you if you're not doing your job. But as long as you're doing your job, then they're not going to get rid of you. You'll be good unless they get rid of the job. And then for some of us, people have gotten rid of the job. That's why people go through layoffs, right? So that's the analogy, or that's the way that I look at it. For one, you know what I mean, like because there's so many different ways to view things, and everything that we go through is not always meant for our bad. A lot of things we're meant to be able to, that we have to go through. It's like really helping us. It's really molding us, right? It really is. It's not hurting us at all for us to be in a state of harmony with our vision. Like it's not. And then be okay with playing your position. It's okay that this is who you are. This is your position. You should never settle anyway. You're not there yet. You don't settle. You keep moving forward. And then that's what I'm saying. People will walk alongside of you if you a man. Like you gotta be in that position. You don't get to turn it off. You don't get to go left. No. And the saddest thing about it, listen, upon whatever you can provide will determine who's going to be there with you while you ride. That's another thing too. It's unfair, but it's real. It's unfair, but it's real. You got to be in that position because people don't look at you the same. Like, you know what I mean? You know how many dudes won't cry because they afraid that, the woman in their life or their friends or whatever, they will look at them as they're weak. Not that they have emotions. It's unfair. But a woman, you could be in the middle of an argument, she just busts out crying, and then people gonna feel bad for her. And it's like, well, damn, what you crying for? You just got through yelling. Like, why you crying? Like, yo, but this is the thing that people got to deal with. It's unfair, but it's real. It's just what it is. And so once you realize that as a man, like, yo, no, you don't know. No, people got choices. They got to make their choice, and you got to be the person that got to stand on your ground and stand your square. You got to make that choice, because then some things you're gonna have to deal with, and you're not gonna want to. There's gonna be people who are gonna walk away from you that you always thought would be there forever, and it's not. And that's one of the things, one of the hardest parts about all of this stuff that we going through in life, yo. We've been taught a lie, man. We've been taught a life of just being on an island. We've been lied to for a really long time. The village is nowhere around right now. We need the village back, because there's too much stuff happening out here in the world. These young men that got found in a tree, yo, they was all by themselves when this happened. The village got to come back, right? The new tactics that they're using to snatch women. You seen all this stuff that's happening? Like all these women's turning up missing now. You see that? You see? You see what they've done with these sex laws and all that other stuff from the last administration. That's why they're trying to get rid of it and overturn it and all that other stuff. They were doing some crazy shit. I had a porn star on here a couple of shows ago, and she was breaking it down of all the different things and how the industry changed because of how people doing it. So many laws that used to be in place for regulation is not there no more, because the pedophiles are running the building. The sex deviants are running the building. They the ones that's in charge. And they got rid of a bunch of shit that don't protect children and none of this other stuff, y'all. It just puts it in a place where you got to go find it. They're trying to make pedophilia legal. I just looked at a map of all the states that allow marriage that allow marriage at the age of 16. Like, that's crazy. Or consent. Like, yo, so a big adult, a big 35-year-old person, 45, 50-year-old person can be with a 16-year-old kid if they want to in a lot of states. So that's why we be trying to figure out how these pedophiles be getting out. Like, wait a minute, this person did what? And all they got to do is put their little flag on a little pedophile thing, and they all right. They could just be outside. Like, yo, these people did this type of crime, and they could be outside. Yeah, because they allowing it, and and the village ain't there, yo. The village ain't there no more, and that's just a fact. The kids should never have to be alone. Like, nobody kids should have to be in daycare. I that's just me. I mean, my opinion is just my opinion. That's another thing. I'm making sure I reiterate that just in case, because, you it's so many people who are taking credit for raising children that they didn't raise. Daycare raised them, school raised them. They went straight from daycare straight to school. All you did was feed them and tuck them in at night. Spent a couple of things with them on the weekend, but for the most of their life, they've been raised and by other people. And so many people are around here feeling proud of themselves because of that, because they had other people raising their children for them. And then they don't know their kids. And then when something happened and they be like, oh my God, I never thought my kid would do that. Yeah, because you ain't know them. All you knew is what they did when it was time to go to bed. All you knew is what to do on the weekend. That's all you knew, right? You didn't know your kids. Somebody else raised your kids, especially in the most impressionable ages of their life is before they get 5. It's just when they really learn what is what. And the whole time they got somebody out. Think about how many times people use the same daycare until their child go to school. I mean, they've been around this same person or these same people for longer than they've been around you. Because think about it. When your ass get up in the morning to go drop them off because you got to go to work or whatever, you go all that time, then you come pick them up at the end of the day, you up for maybe a couple of hours and they back asleep and you back up again. You might have your children for the total of probably about 4 hours out of a day, but about 9 to 10 hours, they with somebody else. That's crazy. And then we wonder why, our children are going through certain things. We don't have the structure anymore. We don't have a village. We need the village back. The village was always there. And yeah, you might not have the family members that you could trust and all that. Then you're going to have to put some shit together because you got to get out your way. You got to get out your own way because this whole thing about, it's not enough. The more things are going up, the more people need to figure out a way to create their own village. And it's just what it is. It's going to head that way. Look, y'all, if they, this is what's going to be crazy. when AI start to take a whole lot of people's jobs and stuff like that, or whatever, it's going to be a whole lot of people that's been caught because they're not paying attention right now on how to beat that. That's just them. They're not going to do it. They listen to things like what I'm saying. It'll go in one ear and out the other. People that are around me, they will have no excuse because we have conversations with the people I'm around, people I film with, in my house or whatever. We have conversations, and one thing I can't do is make nobody do nothing. But we have conversations. So if they get caught, it's not because they don't know. But for the rest of y'all out here, if y'all get caught and don't get in it, then that's what's going to happen. But eventually, just imagine this. If they do that, then they will have to come up with something that's called a universal income. Now, what I want y'all to realize is that the companies who don't use manual labor anymore, who will turn over to robotics, will make more profit because they'll have workers that don't take days off. They don't call out, they don't be sick, and they work 24 hours a day. So warehouses and all that other shit, boom, it's in and out. The robotic trucks I talked about earlier, distribution is rolling. So these companies are going to make more money. So what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to pay out. And then that means the government is going to have to trickle money down. Now, here's what's going to be foul. Remember, the IRS was only created during the time of World War One because they needed help, so to speak, from the people to help finance the war. Well, it was only supposed to be for that war. They never took it off. So we're not even really supposed to be paying taxes, at all. Income tax of no sort. There shouldn't even be an IRS. But let's just put that a whole nother way. Whenever they do that, just think about it. If they got a universal income and they giving you something, and then they're gonna tax you on what they giving you, and you're not allowed to work. Like, y'all think about that. Like the way that it's going to head. Like, this is not the time for nobody to be sleep on your financial, your financial literacy. It's not time for you to be sleep on that. It's not time for you to take all this time spending your money just because you got it. No, you families got to get together. You got to start doing business meetings. You got to start putting that into a perspective. You don't have a lot of time. It's a lot of people in jobs that really think they got a lot of time. You do not. All of those jobs that are like database, you don't have a lot of time. They're finding AI that could do your job. They got what they call agents right now, AI agents that will do your job, that will do especially analytics and forensics and all that other shit outside of, you don't have a lot of time. I'm sorry, I get it. You don't have a lot of time. So what we got to do is get ahead of it before it comes there. And if they say that good old saying, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Right? It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and don't have one than to get an opportunity and don't be prepared. It's just basic, y'all. That's it. It's just basic. It ain't got to be looked at no type of negative way. It just got to be looked at as a positive way. Like, pay attention. Because what I want y'all all to realize is that, the more ways that people could control you, it'd be the more ways that you won't be free. There'll be a bunch of people who won't have nothing to do all day because of the universal income. And then you still going to have to do stuff that they want you to do. Anything that's considered manual. Because if they tax you off of money that they giving you that you can't work for, why in the world? I just don't understand, y'all. I just want all of y'all to really just kind of, if you watch me, if you are a fan of this platform, I just want all of y'all to pay attention with debating of race wars, right? With the economy going into a digital age, because that's exactly where it's going, y'all, to people now realizing how important it is to grow your own food, how people are finding it very important to learn how to distill your own water. Like, all of these things are coming into fruition now because people have access to information that they didn't have just a year ago. the new president that's up here now, whether people like him or not, hasn't even been in his office for a year now. And every bit of information that a person can use to get their freedom has been given out. And very few people are paying attention to that. They keep complaining about him being racist and what he's doing with migrants and all this other stuff. And I'm saying to y'all, like, y'all missing it. Y'all being distracted by the wrong thing. Y'all are not paying attention. The man is set it up for everybody that is just with a common sense to change your life. Right now, you can get in right now, $5, $10. Listen, there are certain things that are not even a penny right now that got some of the most amazing case users that once everybody starts to figure it out, it's going to skyrocket. And my thing is not about you, trying to preach to people to be rich. We already rich. I'm talking about wealthy. And I'm not saying wealthy in the sense of just having money. I'm talking about like, yo, your children's children. Our parents didn't do that for us. Our parents didn't do that for us. They just lived for the day. You know what I'm saying? And they just wanted to enjoy their life. That's all they did. They didn't think about our futures. They just thought enough to raise us and get us to 18 and get us out the way and hope that we do it on our own. And not even that, because some of these parents are foul because they get the government assistance and they got children that have working age, but they won't allow their children to work because if their child work, then it'll cut into their benefits. So it's a lot of children right now being forced to just be at home and be caught up in everything that go around the block because their mother don't want to lose the benefits. So right now, we're gonna be in a place where we gotta be free. And I think all like-minded people should come together. And that's just my point. They don't have to take everybody. They just need enough bodies of people who think alike and you could put the plan together. But I just want to leave y'all with this before I get out of here. Let's just really, really pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes, y'all. Let's follow the money and let's not be so easily triggered and moved in our emotions by the things that we see or the things that happen, because a lot of things are going to be done to us to control us. There's going to be fake alien invasion coming up soon at some point. We understand that, because there's no way that aliens are waiting till now to come do nothing to us when they already been here. Like, they've been here. It's not nothing new. They ain't running around just figuring out where we are and all this other shit. They've been here. It's been written. It's on hieroglyphics. It's on walls. It's on caves. It's on all kind of shit. So it's not new. It ain't. They not coming to do nothing to us. Whoever it is gonna come and fake that little bullshit. It's coming. So we just got to be in a space where we know that people are trying to control us. We just got to make sure that we don't fall for the play. And that's it. And you cannot fall for the play. You just got to make sure you control your emotions. And it's going to be hard because a lot of people are going to be under attack for that. Right? Because your emotion, right? Your emotions is what causes everybody to control. That's what they use to control. They use a television to program you, and then they use your emotions to control you. And that's it. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Because yo, I really want everybody out here to get it, man. You know what I'm saying? And there's no need to hold back information. But I also know that, it's not for everybody. So thank y'all all for the people who do reach out to me. Thank y'all for all the people who leave comments and all the people who hit me up personally in between things when things happen, because I get a lot of messages, y'all. I promise I do, from people who want me to speak on certain things, or when things come up, they ask for me to, saying what I think about it, am I going to talk about certain things, and I do. And then sometimes I don't. Like when it comes to celebrity stuff, a lot of times I don't. Like I wasn't going to talk about Dame Dash. I wasn't going to talk about that because, the fact that they were saying that he's losing all his money, he ain't got money, he's broke after he done been a multi-millionaire, he done helped so many different people. I wasn't going to talk about him regardless of what it looked like, because I do know that he helped so many people. Kevin Hart, all of these big people, man, like Lee Daniels, everybody that y'all, Rachel Roy, all of the people that y'all consider big, Jay-Z, Easy, everybody, man, he's been a part of their success at some point, of great people that done great things. He's been a part of their success. So if he fall or something happens in the public eye, definitely not gonna jump on the bandwagon and the knock him down, yo. And that's what everybody has been doing. And then he go on the Breakfast Club today, and then shit go left, like up there. That was crazy. Only to come to find out that he's about to be the chairman of Revolt for 30 days. So people been clowning him, talking about him, that right now is going to be working for him for 30 days. Ain't that crazy? That's why you can't be popping shit. You can't get out there and start talking about people just because they was up once and now they feel like they fell, or they got a little something going on. Now y'all want to jump on them, and then now look what happened. Now, it's a lot of people who got platforms over on Revolt that was talking about them, and now look. So, hey, I don't really, that's why it's a lot of things in that arena I don't really talk about, because you don't never know. I never talked about Puff either, because look at what happened. He was supposed to be in there for trafficking minors and sex trafficking minors the whole time. They up here but he shoot porn. Like, damn, I ain't want to know about his porn. I ain't want to know about his sex life. Like, what y'all said that he was trafficking minors. We trying to figure out that, like, yo, what's going on? Like, yo, y'all, and then now it's so quiet. What's going on with Puff now? Ain't nothing going. Like, what is happening? Right. So what I'm saying to y'all is that we gotta watch for the hook, y'all. They playing us and they playing in our face, and if y'all don't just find ways to try to see behind the veil, you're going to be emotionally triggered every time. They're going to use your energy against you, and then boom, there you go. Now y'all outside fighting. Every time y'all go somewhere, y'all looking for, now white and black people got to go to a bar. Next thing you know, they're gonna be fighting each other because because that's the energy that's being put out there. It's corny, yo. So, all right, y'all. So look, y'all know the vibes, man. Each and every week, I try to give y'all something, man. And then I got next week. I'm gonna have a guest, and we're gonna keep moving, man. But I want y'all all to pay attention, man. From week to week, man. We're gonna make sure that we get this thing out here. We're gonna get this information. I got a bunch of videos that I've been collecting, and I wanna get y'all's opinions and y'all reactions to them. I want to put it out there because there are a lot of people that are saying things that I've been saying for the longest, and I'm so glad that other people feel the same way, because I want to make sure that people understand that a lot of things are not just something just to say. It's that it's a real thing out here, and so yeah, I want to share them with y'all, man. And we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do on here. We're gonna continue to build. The platform is gonna continue to grow, y'all. That's what it's for. We're gonna grow this platform, and it's gonna keep going, and y'all gonna grow with me, and to the point where this is gonna be the one platform that every person that is a person that's of importance, that has a story that can get to me. Because of course I'm not gonna be able to get everybody, but I'm talking about the ones that I do, and I'm allowed, or I'm blessed to have them share their story with me on whatever level that is. This will be the platform for that. I promise it'll get there. This will not be the platform for all the celebrities. This will not be a platform for all the people who already got access to all the platforms. We're going to grow this platform to the point where it's going to be for the everyday person, the person who got that story, the person who going through it, the entrepreneur, the startup, the person who on the grind like that, the independent artist, the thing that we're going to get it to y'all, the people, the filmmakers, the indie filmmakers. Like they need a platform. Everybody else got all the other shit for all the people that's already that's lit out there. So, we're gonna grow to be that platform to get people that, and that's just what it is. So thank y'all so much for joining me tonight, for all of y'all that did, and all of y'all that's gonna listen to the playback, and all the people who download the audio version, and everybody that shared the clips and all that other stuff that y'all do each and every day, and all of y'all that support my content, y'all, because tonight or earlier today, Stormed In Part 2 dropped. And I'm thankful for the views and the shares that I've gotten so far, right? And all of you guys that really take the time out to support the platform and everything that I have going on. Thank y'all. All the orders, the shirt orders, yo. Thank y'all so much, man, for going to the website, man, and checking out the gear, man, and ordering these shirts and all of these different things, man. Thank y'all, yo. Man, it mean a lot. Cause your boy been putting in the work, and a lot of times it's been blindly because you don't know how it's going to be received, you don't know what it's going to take, and it's happening. So thank y'all so much for all of y'all and everything that y'all do. So until next week, y'all know the vibes, man. Stay cool out there, stay fly, and remember, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. So until next week, peace.